In this video, we will demonstrate configuring exclude and permit filters for shared memory communications. We're in the Network Configuration Assistant. We're in the TCP/IP Profile Technology. I've selected a stack, and for that stack, I'm going to pull down Actions Configure. Now, SMC information is configured in the Performance and Protocol section of TCP/IP Configuration. So I'm going to select Performance and Protocol, and then in Performance and Protocol, I select Shared Memory Communication Settings. You'll notice that Shared Memory Communication Settings has 4 tabs. The first tab is General Settings that apply to both SMCR and SMCD, and also to SMCV2. So this is the screen where the exclude and include filters are. You can see there's 2 tables. There's the SMC exclude filters table, followed by the SMC permit filters table. So let's go ahead and configure an exclude filter. So I'll just pull down Actions New and create the exclude filter by specifying the IP address. And in this example, I'm going to include an entire subnet. So I would select 10.1.1.0, and then I would click that it's a network or subnet and give it the subnet length, in which case is 24. You can also create a comment to explain what you're doing in the GUI. So now I've created my exclude filter. Now let's create include filters. But when we go to the permit filters, there's a few rules we have to keep in mind. First of all, if this table is empty, then all SMC partners are permitted, except for ones that are in the exclude filters table. But once you start putting entries into this table, then these become the only ones that SMC will talk to. And also, if it's SMCV2, they also have the same enterprise ID. But the most important rule to keep in mind is that the exclude filter table always overrides the permit filter table. So if something is in the exclude filter table, it will not be attempted even if it's the permit filter table, even if the permit filter is more specific. For example, if I create a permit filter here, and I say I want to permit 10.1.1.1, and that's a host, all right, even though it's in this table, it's not going to work because the 10.1.1.0 subnet was excluded here. And exclude filters override permit filters in all cases, even when the permit filters are more specific. So let's fix this to one that will work. I can select it, do Actions Modify, and I'm going to change the host address to not be in the excluded subnet. So now that's a valid filter. And also, I'm going to do one more include filter, because the way this is right now, we will only attempt SMC to this one host address. Because remember, once there are entries in this table, then they're the only things that we will attempt SMC with. So now I'm also going to add another subnet. So adding the 10.1.3.0 subnet with a comment. So now I will permit SMC with the host 10.1.2.1 and with anything in the 10.1.3 subnet. But remember, if it's SMCV2, they also have to have the same enterprise ID. So now I'm going to click OK and show you that SMC is configured. Performance and Protocol now has configuration. And let's look at the configuration that was generated. So with the stack selected, I'm going to pull down Install Configuration Files. And in this panel, I can simply click on the configuration file to preview it. And you can see here are the exclude and permit filters that result from that configuration in the GUI.